Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm really excited to do this video because of a number of reasons. So I actually just got back from a family barbecue and it was really awesome because I'm going to call them my aunts. They're Adam's aunts, but they're basically my aunts through marriage. But anyway, they were saying how they've been watching my videos and they've been loving them and they've been learning a lot, and it's actually really cool because a couple of the items that I featured in my videos, I guess they are actually going and buying, but at the same time, they are moms. They are trying to be, budget cautious, which I think is really amazing, and I definitely should do that a little bit more as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video really geared towards using drugstore, and not just drugstore, but also items that you can actually go and get versus, I've used LA Girl, I've used Morphe, but some of that stuff you can't always find at your local drugstore. You have to go to Ulta or you have to order, which is always really nice, but at the same time, it's not something that you can maybe just like have your, kid run out and go grab for you really fast or whatever it may be. So everything that I'm using, you can literally run to the drugstore, send somebody, take a screenshot of my video or, find it online, and you can actually go to, a Walmart or a Target or a Winco or wherever it may be and actually get these items and, you not have to order them. And you may think, what? Winco? Winco has makeup? Yes, they do. And I actually got this NYC foundation at Winco, and it's actually really, really nice. So I'm going to possibly be using this one as well. But everything that I am going to be using, you can literally get at the drugstore. And again, it's very easy to find. So I obviously have on a full face of makeup. Like I said, we just got back from a Easter barbecue. And to be honest with you, you may actually still see, if you're familiar with it, it's called cascarones, but it's basically like the confetti that comes out of like the paper mache eggs, basically. So I may still have some of that in my hair. If I do, that is what it is. I try to take out a majority of it, but I haven't taken out all of it. And like I said, just got back. I really wanted to film this because I was super, super excited. So haven't been able to wash out my hair. Anyway, so I do have on a full face of makeup, and what I'm wanting to do, because on this side I do have some drugstore, but again, it's not like super easy to find, but it's mostly luxury items. Like I have Smashbox, I have Hourglass, I have NARS, I have Makeup Revolution, which is still drugstore. You can get that at Ulta. And then a couple other things. I think I have on a Makeup Forever blush. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use these Clinique. These are a little messy. These Clinique Pep Start, which I actually really enjoy. I feel like they take off the makeup really well, and they don't leave a like unwanted greasy residue. So I'm going to take off half of my face, and I'm going to actually do half of my face with drugstore and show that you can really get a luxury look, which we're going to try and mimic this right side, but with the drugstore. I don't know if I'm going to be able to mimic the exact same color, but at least you can get like that high definition look. So I'm going to take off my left side, and then we're again going to mimic my right side. So I'm just going to use these tellets. I do have a mirror over here. If you guys are curious as to what is on my eyes, I'm super, super obsessed with it. It's the Touch in Sol Metalist Liquid Eyeshadows. If you guys want me to do a look, let me know, and I can definitely do that for you guys. But basically, I'm just going to take off this side of my makeup, and we're going to recreate it. So the products that I'm going to use today, it's going to be the Loreal True Match, which I'll show you guys in just a second. But it is a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, too light for me. I shouldn't have had on lipstick, but that's okay. Anyway, so it's too light for me. So we are going to have to use a little bit of NYX, which I didn't want to have to do. I'm going to use the NYX mixer. Whew, you can see a pretty significant color difference, but I just don't have on self-tanner on my face. This is actually kind of a nice little trick because I can like clean up my eyebrow, which I'm not mad at. Okay, I'm so excited for this. I'm really excited to mimic what we have on the other side. Okay, so I have no foundation on this side. I'm hoping you guys can see a difference. I'm sure you can. Okay, so since we took off everything, we want to make sure that we give this side a fair try, if you will. Whew, you don't even want to see the tissue. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to prep it. I'm going to prep it with some Mario Badescu. Nope, you know what? We're going to do all drugstore. I don't have a drugstore spray on me, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that, but I am going to use a drugstore moisturizer. I have like an aloe vera moisturizer. It's in a little sample jar because I found it at, where did I get this? Why am I scooping out so much of it? What's it called? I think I found it at Ulta. I'm just using the back of my tweezers, but you can get it at Walmart. You can even find it at Target as well. I will find it and I will list it down in the description box because like I said, I just have like a little sample of it. So we're just going to apply that all over. So you can honestly use drugstore products, but it's about how you prep as far as like your skincare, your primer, and how you, what brushes you're using. So what tools you're using. Sorry, I like blanked out for just a second. Okay, so there is that. And then for primer, I'm just going to use the Milani, where did that thing go? The Milani face primer. I ended up finding this at, what is it called? Target. So I'm going to use that as my primer. So I'm going to go over here and grab a little brush as well. Okay, so we're going to apply the primer. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm really just going to apply that where I have, you know, a larger pores or just where I need a little bit of smoothness, which is typically right here and whatever I have left. I'm just going to apply my forehead. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going to use the Loreal True Match, and this you can honestly find at any drugstore. So Walmart, Target, you know, Walgreens, what are those other stores? I don't know, I forget. What's it called? QVC, not QVC, QVC? No. What is that store called? CVS. QVC, what was I thinking? I have Lisa Rinna on my mind apparently. Okay, so we're just going to apply a little bit of the L'Oreal True Match. And I don't want to have to do this, but it is quite a bit too light. I don't know if you guys can tell based off that. So I am going to have to use a little bit of this NYX-Pro foundation mixer. Okay, I'm going to need more foundation than that. So I'm just putting my foundation on the back of my moisturizer. I'll show you guys in just a second. And then I'm going to mix the two because I'm trying to make it a little bit darker, yes, and a little bit warmer also. So here is my foundation. And I put a little bit of that mixture right next to it. And then of course I'm just going to mix it. This is a brush that I found at Forever 21. And I featured it in a few videos at this point. But I really like it because it has like this little spatula looking edge. So it's a little bit light, but we can make it work. Okay. Oh, right in my hair. That's awesome. So it was really cool because, again, I'm going to say it's my aunts. They were saying that they love the videos, but they want, they were curious if, you know, I could feature some more drugstores. Or actually, they didn't say that, but I kind of like got that vibe. So I was like, you know what? As soon as I get home, I'm going to film a video using more drugstore. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm like literally using all drugstore. So we're going to be using a Wet n Wild flat foundation brush. I have my mirror over here, so hopefully you guys can see that okay. So we're just going to buff that in. I really want to try and get as much coverage as possible. So once I feel like I have a decent amount of coverage, I'm just going to go in there and tap like so. I see a little hair. There we go. So this brush isn't terrible. I will say that it sheds, ooh, lovely. It sheds just a little bit, which I'm not crazy about. I feel like I can get over that considering it does work pretty well. You know, I think that if you were to splurge on something, whether it be your brush or your actual like foundation, I would really recommend a good sponge or a good brush, because I feel like if you have a good tool, you can really make any product look luxury. It's just about how you're applying it and what you're using to apply it. So I'm just going to take that little bit of leftover foundation and I'm just going to tap it underneath my eye. We will actually use a concealer, but hey, if I have this, might as well use it to give me a little bit of coverage. But already, like, look how smooth that L'Oreal True Match is. I really, really like this foundation. I think it's definitely a little bit underrated. I think people have talked about it, but now with so many luxury brands coming out, I think that this one's been forgotten about a little bit. So we gonna bring the hype back. Okay, so like I said, this brush sheds just a little bit, but I mean, considering I think it was $1.99, I could work with it. Okay, so there we go for foundation. So now for concealer, which is my favorite part. I love playing with concealers. I do this every time. I'm like, I'm gonna get everything ready, and then I always forget that one thing. Okay, so for concealer, we're gonna use the Wet n Wild concealer. I use the shade Light Medium Beige, and you guys, if you've seen a couple of my videos, like, you know, this is my ride or die concealer, which is a big deal because it's A, drugstore, and B, super inexpensive, obviously. And I have so many concealers, but I still go towards this one. For drugstore, sorry, I'm like trying to wrap my mind around what I'm doing right now. For drugstore brushes, this is a Real Techniques brush, which you can find again at Walmart or, you know, wherever. This is also another Real Techniques brush, which I'm going to use for my concealer today. Really, I love Real Techniques for concealer brushes. Yes, I love a lot of their brushes, but I really love their like tapered or smaller brushes like this for concealer, or to like buff out. I'm going to grab this mirror that I have back here, to buff out. There's loose change on it. To buff out cream products. I just feel like they have really unique, awesome shapes that I can really work with. And so this is definitely one of those. And I like how small and slightly feathered it is at the tip. It reminds me of like a flat stippling brush. But I love this foundation. It's so good. Okay, so again, we're still sticking with drugstore. You guys already know I like this as well. I have featured this in a couple of my videos. So I'm just going to take that same brush but opposite side, and I'm going to use it to set my under eye so we don't crease. Creasing is not good. Feel like I have something in my eye. There we go. Okay, so we have set underneath my eye, so I ain't gonna crease. I don't know why I sounded so country there. I'm not gonna crease, I'm not gonna move, which is exactly what I want. And then I'm just gonna take this same e.l.f. brush that I used for my foundation. I'm just gonna lightly clean it off. And then I'm going to use the same e.l.f. product, and I'm just going to tap my brush on there, and I'm going to set the rest of my face. Okay, so we're just tapping. The reason why we're tapping versus smudging is because I don't want to risk thinning out my coverage or moving my foundation. I want it to stay exactly where I'm setting. So just like that. Okay, so now we're going to do bronzer. I feel like I have another little hair on me. Yes, I do. There we go. Okay, so that's the only thing about this brush. I could definitely use more Real Techniques brushes, but I wanted to find like a true drugstore brush. So the fact that it feathers, no, I'm not crazy about that. But if you absolutely can't and just don't want to have to put up the money, maybe you're only getting ready once for like an event, this brush is really great. It's just that it does shed a little bit, and I know I've said that quite a few times, but that's really the only downfall about this brush, honestly. Okay, so really quickly, I just want to make sure I don't have any loose hairs on me. I feel like I can feel one or two. So I'm just going to dust that in, just like so. Okay, so now we're going to do my favorite part, which is Bronze Up the Skin. And I'm just going to use this brush you can find at Walmart, and this is called the Multi-Purpose Brush. I'm going to try and find the link and post these down below because they have this brush, a blush brush, I want to say a contour brush, and a fan brush. And if I can find these, I will list all of them down below because honestly, these I think were $7 and they're so amazing. Like literally, when I travel, we're getting ready to go on a trip, like this is making the trip, and that's a big deal, people. That is a huge deal. So I totally recommend this brush. Okay, so for bronzer, because of course we've evened out the coverage, now we need to give our face some depth. I'm going to use, I don't know why this random barcode is on there. It is not for this at all. It just somehow made its way there. We're going to use the NYX-Matte bronzer. You can find NYX at all drugstores, I feel like, at this point. So we're going to use a little bit of that with this brush that, like I said, I found at Walmart. And we're just going to give some depth to our cheeks, and already you can see how it's just created some nice dimension. So just like that. And then we're going to add a little bit of color into our hairline. It was so cute. They were at the barbecue. My aunts were saying they watched my latest video with my niece, and they're like, she did such a good job. Sorry, I totally had the mirror in front of the camera, and she did so great. It was so funny. She texted me and she was so excited about her video, and her aunt was telling me that she watched the video as well and she thought it was the cutest. Okay, so it doesn't take much with this NYX bronzer. So as you can see, like, I'm hoping on camera it's looking how it does in person because it's very hard for me to tell a difference between the two. And on this side, I'll post it in the picture, but not even to be like bougie, but this side is probably $1,000 worth of product. I'm not even kidding you. Just because like those were the products that I was playing with. I was playing with a lot of Hourglass, Makeup Forever, LA Girl, which is not as expensive at all. I had some MAC on, I had some Milani, I had some Bobbi Brown, Anastasia, Marc Jacobs. So this side was definitely very expensive. This side I will also post a picture as far as how inexpensive it was to create. And as long as you're using the right brushes and you're the right method, you can literally make a look. You can create a look and make it seem as though it is much more expensive based off your techniques and your brushes. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so lastly, the best part, which is blush. I have a drugstore highlighter that I'm also going to use. It is Wet n Wild. Okay, so we're going to, I crushed it, so we'll see about how it picks up. I'm just going to use another Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of blush. And for me to say a little bit of blush is a big deal because it's normally a lot of blush. But I'm using, oh, I don't think I showed you guys, I'm sorry. So I'm using the Milani Rose de Oro blush. I love these blushes. They're so gorgeous. This one has a little bit more sheen than the other side. But other than that, I mean, they're pretty similar. Okay, so just dust that in like so. Okay, so for highlight, I'm just going to be using the Wet n Wild. These highlighters are so nice. I think these were like $2.99 at Fred Meyer, or I mean you can find anywhere, Fred Meyer, Walmart, pretty much anywhere. Whew, that is nice. Okay, so that was fast. Hopefully that was fast. I don't know, it's probably like, your video is 47 minutes long. So we just recreated, like I'm looking over here and I'm kind of like, okay, I think I like this side better actually. But we just recreated that look. So we have a drugstore on this side, and then we have luxury on this side, and hopefully face on. I'm hoping you guys can't really tell a difference. I'm super impressed with all of the products that I used. I mean, I didn't use this one, but I was thinking about either using this one or the Milani. This is also Wet n Wild. We used some NYX, which again, ignore that barcode. We used some Loreal. which is this guy here. We use some e.l.f. We use Real Techniques, Wet n Wild brushes. So everything is inexpensive. Like I said, I will actually post a photo and I will insert the price here, and then I will insert the other price here for luxury and then drugstore. But hopefully this was helpful, and honestly, it's all about the method, the application, and also the brushes that you guys use. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any other videos you guys would like for me to film in the near future, please let me know down below. Don't forget to leave me comments, text me, email me. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked this. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys already know the drill. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the bell notifications. I think that's everything. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye.